What's up, everybody? It's your boy ShowtimeDr. I'm back. So I'm a little late to the party on the dev note. When this came out, I was somewhere around Arizona, driving across the country to get my gear set up here. So let's go ahead and go over it. I'll give you guys my thoughts, and here we go. So let's read it here. Hello, this is Super Creative. We would like to give you all a more detailed look at what you can expect from the next major update, and share with you some of the balancing changes ahead of time. In this major update, a new special type of labyrinth will be added called Asmakelis Labyrinth. Why can't everyone just name it like Joe's Labyrinth or something? Whatever. As well as a new challenge, Archdemon's Forces. As far as balancing goes, there will be some improvements to skill enhancing and buffs, and nerfs are planned for several characters. Likewise, to help compensate for these nerfs, we will be introducing a special new recall system. Note: all game terms in the note are tentative. Note 2. Additions to the dev note after the initial time of posting are bolded and colored in red. Alright. And apparently scrolling this is hard. What the heck? I don't like the way Stove's website works. Like, I wish they would just have things normally instead of this pop-up nonsense, but... Yep, and now it's scrolling by itself because it's lagging or something. Good lord. Alright, so let's see if this works. Alright. Oops, accidentally full screened. After the fall of the Nigel, the Forgotten Queen, blah 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 blah. It's another bug place, guys. It's not that hard. If you played World of Warcraft, you know how it is. The royal capital of Asmaki veers away from our conventional explorer-style labyrinths. Instead, is a raid-type labyrinth. Alright, so this is the raid I was hearing about. That introduces multiple raid bosses for players to hunt. This full-fledged labyrinth is organized into one single extensive area, and players will need to use 2 labyrinth compasses, entrance tokens, to enter. Oh, is that like the regular labyrinth compasses? So we gotta actually choose now. Because I still gotta clear out some of the old labyrinths. As it requires 2 labyrinth compasses to enter, the royal capital of Asmakelis will reward players with items much more powerful than those in the conventional labyrinth. And here are some of the bosses. Carcanis works in the shadows of his queen. How big is this queen? Personally executing traitors and nobles sentenced to crimes of equal degree. Alright, so he's a stealthy guy. Archon serves as the leader of the Asmara hunters and infamously indulges in seeking out sacrificial victims. So I'm guessing he's like an archer. God, I can't believe scrolling on this website is that big a deal. Vera spends most of her time burrowed deep in the underground alone. Vera oversees the internal affairs and finances for the royal government. She also has a grand vision, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Julevi, each and every one of the monsters that constitute the council represent the denizens of each of the kingdom's district. They are telepathically in sync with the feudal lords. Oh, that's the council, okay. They didn't really explain the boss there, but whatever. And then there's the queen herself, who, despite being queen, cannot seem to procure a proper shirt. After the fall of Nigel, the queen wakes from her deep sleep and fumes with anger that someone has stolen all her clothing. Although the source of her rage is no more, the queen's uncontrollable wrath and obsession with conquest permeates the world of Orbis. Sounds like a World of Warcraft thing right there. Alright, so let's see. Players must defeat all the bosses in the royal capital of Asmaki in order to obtain the rewards unique to each boss. Moreover, once killed, the monsters will take a week to regenerate. Thus, players will only have one opportunity each week to hunt raid bosses. The rewards available from this raid labyrinth include equipment with new item set effects, items exclusive to raid boss monsters. Oh, that's really where all the new items are going to come from then. Okay. And galaxy bookmarks. Oh, that's cool. I'm down for that. The raid boss's descriptions, regeneration conditions, and item drop tables will be compiled into a boss journal and supported by additional functions to be made available for players to confirm before entering the raid labyrinth. Overall, that seems like a really cool thing. In order to effectively obtain the most amount of rewards, it is important to prioritize the targets and move towards their respective areas while conserving morale. Although one team's morale is sufficient to take down one raid boss, with great teamwork, the party may be able to conserve morale and thereby hunt additional raid bosses. Let me hit the page down. In addition, there will be more. There will be an NPC from the Order of the Sword found in the front of the Raid Labyrinth entrance who will be selling a variety of items that will contribute to the success of the raid. Players may also purchase powerful equipment and rewards from this NPC with tokens that can be obtained exclusively in the royal capital, blah, 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 blah. Da, 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 da. They will be divided into normal difficulty and hell difficulty. Hell difficulty is planned to be added and it updates 2 weeks after normal difficulty is released. That's cool. And is expected to be the most challenging PvE content in the history of Epic 7. Likewise, the available rewards will be more powerful and impressive. New set equipment. So, we were talking yesterday, because I streamed for the first time yesterday in a while. Well, should I get into this now? You know what, I'll get into it at the end of the video. So let's just go over the new set equipment. New equipment sets have been added. Unity set increases dual attack chance. Terranor Guard, by the way, check that hero out if you have it. That'll be an amazing character for the Unity set. I was turned on to it by some friends in my channel yesterday. Immunity set, we'll be talking a lot about this later. Grants immunity to self for 1 turn at the start of the battle. Rage set increases damage dealt if the target has a debuff. Okay. That's the set no one's really talking about, but that'll be nasty on someone like, what's her face? Sigrid, etc. People like that. You can obtain these new set items from normal hell difficulty. Yeah, we've been over that. Later on, we plan on making farming smoother by making it possible to obtain these new set items from challenge mode. Increase your character's tactics with this new set equipment. 4 and 5-star character stat increases. Currently, there's only a minimal difference in the stats with different grades. However, we think that there should be a difference based on the higher grades of characters. Therefore, we, the dev team, comma, no, we, the magical fairies, plan to make minor adjustments to the stats of 4 and 5-star characters. So basically all the stats, or at least health, attack, defense, and speed. 4 stars are going to go up 3%, 5 stars 6%. So for you guys that have those characters that have either damage scaling on defense, speed, or health, that is actually a double buff for your guys' damage. So keep that in mind. You got a 5-star character that scales with defense. They're now doing 12% more damage. Overall, based on your stats, it depends on what you're prioritizing, you know, like no one's going to have their defense and their attack exactly lined up. But you get what I basically mean. You're basically getting a double buff to your DPS there. And let's see here, skill rebalancing. This is nerf. In order to reach the full potential of their character's core strengths and performance, players should fully enhance their hero's skills. Relatively, it's not that hard to reach the full potential of a 3-star character. However, we have noticed that players have quite a bit of difficulty enhancing 4 and 5-star heroes due to the amount of Molagora that are required to do so. We understand that players might feel discouraged from enhancing skills due to this. As such, we have significantly reduced the amount of Molagora required to enhance the skills of high-level heroes. Ah, fuck, I just burned a bunch yesterday. I wish I read that earlier. After the update, well then again, I guess I can do that, whatever it's called. After the update, we will compensate players via the mailbox for any Molagora already used to enhance hero skills that are in excess. Oh, they already thought about that. Well done. Of the new hero costs. Well done, guys. Yeah, we were kind of talking about that, like, the last dev note or whatever patch it was. And like, because they had floated, they're like, well, don't worry, guys. If we nerf characters, we're going to refund all your Molagora. And I'm like, dude, Molagora is not even the half of it. Like, if you've done, you know, the purple stars, you're going to refund those. And I'll have to see later if they are. Same thing with the specialty quests. If you got either Clury or Lorena. And if they ever end up nerfing heroes like that, are they going to refund us for them? And then also think about the gear that you have on your character, you know, because if you have, say, tier 5 red gear, that's going to cost you an arm and a leg just to take the gear off and then put it on someone else. So, but we'll see what they say about that. So there's the little chart thing on the Molagora. Try to move it up a bit for you guys. First, the lasting effect from increased defense buff will decrease by 15%. Boo, boo, boo. By the way, a special shout out to everyone who complained about defense buff. I hate you. Anyways, the lasting effect from this buff was adjusted because the lasting effect was far more potent than all the other lasting effects. However, the lasting effect from increased defense will still have its presence despite the downgrade and still remains one of the most powerful lasting effects on the game. So what I find funny about everyone whining about defense buff, when I was playing on the Korean server, there was no one complaining about that because Koreans, when they play games, they always look for, well, A, they're looking for overpowered stuff, but B, they always look for counters to either the meta or whatever buff type of character, etc. And there's plenty of freaking ways to get rid of defense buff, guys, so I don't understand why it was such a big deal for you guys. Like, go get a Dispel character. How hard is that? And then I would get people talking to me like, but ShowtimeDr, it's so hard to invest in characters in this game. And I don't want to get a DPS hit. I don't want to get a Dispel hero. I want a character with DPS, and it's really hard on me. What are you even talking about? Like, I was equating this in my stream the other day. I'm like, here's what it sounds like the people on Reddit and everyone that just complains endlessly when this game came to global about whatever. 3-star characters, defense buff. You know what you guys sound like? It's just like, oh my god, why doesn't Tom stop headaches? That's so bad. Nerf Tylenol, nerf aspirin. Tom should be able to stop headaches. I have Tums. How come no one? Go get some fucking aspirin. How hard is this? This isn't that fucking hard. It's like, oh my god, Pepto-Bismol. Pepto-Bismol does nothing. It does nothing. It doesn't do anything for my sore throat. Nerf antiseptic spray. Nerf chloroseptic. Chloroseptic's too powerful. Go buy some fucking chloroseptic. How hard is that shit? Yeah, you guys complain about everything and you're gonna nerf this game into the fucking ground. Stop. Man up. Woman up. Lady up. God, it's not that fucking hard. Ugh, anyways. The purpose of the adjustment is the lasting effect from the increased defense buff was to decrease the dependency on this buff to some degree. However, in order to prevent the PvE content from becoming too difficult for players, we have relied on this buff. There is a patch scheduled to decrease the attack in some PvE content. So basically, because of the whiners, they had to nerf a good chunk of especially the world difficulty PvE, which granted was hard, but there was ways around things, so whatever. We first planned to prioritize applying this patch to world difficulty and adventure mode in Abyss. Oh yeah, Abyss, okay. There will be balancing adjustments to some characters, facing improvements, including... Facing improvements? Does that mean that they're buffing them? Including Dingo, Coley, Euphine, and Bale and Sezin. Euphine, by the way, is getting this fat buff. I didn't see what they were going to do with Coley. I'm curious because I have a Coley. Characters facing a downgrade include Tieria, rest in peace. Elson, rest in peace. Ricoris, never even seen him. Church of Eros Axe, otherwise known as Axe God. I can't believe they got Axe God nerfed. What's wrong with you people? And Muchacha, who I never used and have no idea about. Sounds like it's someone from like Super Mario Brothers. And the artifact, Sachet Ethenis, which is also another sad thing. I believe that's the artifact that every time you kill something, it's 15% combat readiness to the party, which was really good. Now it's getting nerfed. After the downgrade of the character Ravi, we have been extremely cautious in our approach to character adjustments. However, after an extensive and comprehensive review, it was decided that certain downgrades were necessary. There were some characters with all-in-one skill sets, and those with too much utility that nullified other characters' potential and opportunity. Okay, I call bullshit on that as far as Tieria goes. There are plenty of characters that had, in fact, they're nerfing them, some of them, that had Tieria's exact same type of skill set. And now I forget who it was that's in a BR replacement, but it's someone of like a higher star level, which all of like the pomp and circumstance people, yay, higher star level people are gonna get used. It's like, there's no reason to use Tieria now, guys. You fucking made her, she's like, it's like one of those League of Legends characters that they were good once and they got nerfed into oblivion and no one ever used them again. There's no reason to use her now. And it's not like you saw Tieria everywhere, it was just in PvP. Like, maybe she was good for niche things, but whatever. She's gone now, rest in peace. Let's see here. We understand that players who have enjoyed playing characters are facing downgrade adjustments may be so disappointed and even devastated. However, Epic 7 is not only dedicated to preventing indiscreet character improvements. What? I guess that must be a translation thing. But also on establishing a balance between different characters. Therefore, we believe we are taking Epic 7 in a positive direction, and we sincerely ask for support, patience, and understanding of our players and fans. Yeah, they said the same thing when they buffed Abyss because they tried to make characters more interesting. Because everyone has to have be interesting. People just can't be happy with the loot. They have to be interested in the boss, and the boss has to be outrageous and totally amazing. Or you could just take the loot and be a normal player. Character balancing compensations. So this is what I'm curious about. Let's see. In order to reduce the inconvenience that may arise from blah, 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 we have considered implementing different systems. The first system that we'll be implementing is a character recall system. After the update, players will be given a certain amount of time in which they are able to recall their characters that were rebalanced. Once you use this function on a character... Anyway, why did it scroll twice? God, I hate this website. Okay, here we go. Or not. What the hell is going on? Alright, let me just read it from here. Players will be given certain amounts of times which will be able to recall characters that were rebalanced. Once you use this function on a character, the gold, XP, promotion ingredients, awakening ingredients, Molagor, and catalysts that were used to nurture the character will be returned to your account. That still doesn't address the gear. So that's kind of fucked up still, but that is the majority of it, so whatever. The following characters will be available for recall. Yeah, it's basically everyone that was nerfed. Okay. After a giant... Oh wait, no, that's something else. Also, you will be able to unequip equipment for free for a certain amount of time. Hey, they finally got it. Okay, after the update. We know that character balancing is a very sensitive part of Epic 7, and we will only proceed to balance the characters after thoroughly going through an extensive review process. I'll clap you guys for that one. You did a good job there. Because most games don't even consider anything like that. Next week's update. In addition to the changes mentioned above, we will also be adding an Archdemon Forces challenge. The climax of the side story, Eulogy for a Saint. New artifacts, new Moonlight characters, new specialty changes, as well as a variety of systematic improvements and bug fixes, and some type of maid girl who seems to have a hard-on for using a hammer on a rune. In the next dev notes, we will cover a detailed review of Guild Wars, as well as improved side stories and other core content. This is all we have for today's dev notes. We will continue doing our utmost to provide amazing gaming. Thank you for this experience. Well, overall, despite my mockery, it's actually a solid dev note. Still don't agree with the majority of the nerfs, but whatever. That's just the way the game goes. We'll see how the balancing goes, because their record's been a little bit spotty on balancing as far as content, going out and doing it, and you know, we've all been there, but overall it's cool. I like dev notes because dev notes give us a general direction of what is planned, and we can kind of see it before it's coming and adjust accordingly. Luckily for me, other than Elson, which I won't be changing any of the stuff on Elson, I haven't really invested in any of those characters that have been nerfed. I did have a Tieria, I just didn't build her because it took me a while to realize how good she was. I'd actually get turned on to it, and by the time I did, nerfed. So, but anyways, guys, I know it's late, but if you feel like reading this, I'm gonna go over the patch notes later. Let me know what you guys think. Everything, at least they're covering us for the you know, the cost and all the various ingredients it takes to upgrade the characters. So that is that. And I will see you guys on the next video. Be looking forward to a bunch today. Peace.